All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to watch part 3 of Unknown Faces. Our 3 adventures, slight change up with our third player here. Daniel wasn't able to make it in, so Ryan will be substituting. So we will get to see him play his character Olaf. But we're just going to start off exactly where we left off in the House of Old Myra. The three of you offered to help protect Myra against this unknown creature tonight. Glenwarren and Myra went into a trance and took a short rest as they prepared for the night. Sprinkles, you were lounging about, and Olaf, you're just hanging out, brooding in the corner. But everybody, grab an ale, prepare for a tale, for all are welcomed at the Banshee's Wail. Let's go ahead and just get into it. All right. So, Glenwarren, you have taken your short rest, woken up out of your trance. You look over and see Myra with her head still down, her eyes closed. You look over and see Olaf and Sprinkles just kind of lounging around.
Oh, well, it looks like everyone got a good rest in. Well, at least I did. Let's see. We're just holding for the monster this evening, right?
My map is completely black.
Let me fix that real quick for you.
I gotta say, I can't wait to show the old lady that a fairy
Okay, I
saved
got it
her.
now.
A tiny
right.
fairy?
All right, so the three of you, you look over and confirm you're waiting for nightfall. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before just jumping into the night?
Quick 20 push-ups, get a nice pump going.
Sharpen your sword a little.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll sharpen my fists.
All right.
Bring my own grinding wheel, just grind out the sword real quick.
All right, well, Myra wakes up out of her trance, confirms everything with you guys. After a couple of hours pass, she goes off into her study, like she said she would, where there's one door into the room and no windows. So she figured this would be the safest place for her. She closes the door, and you hear the turning of a lock behind it, a heavy metal just lock.
Don't forget, Axbeak is supposed to go with her.
Oh, yes. As she went into the room, Axbeak went ahead and followed her. Let me close that door for you. All right. And before we take it off into nighttime, are we just staying on the first floor? Is anyone going up to the second floor?
Never split the party. There's a whole song about it.
I have a whole shirt about it too. Yeah, we could go out and check out the second floor and see what we can see. See if there's anything else that can help give us an advantage.
All right, so while waiting for nightfall, Glenwarren goes up to the second floor. Glenwarren, I'm just going to move you to the second floor. It'll be the screen beneath.
All right. Well, I'll just walk around and, check out this lady's house.
You walk up the stairs. The remainder of the house is very similar. As you walk up, you look over from the floorboards and you see above the kitchen is just the support beams running across, but there's actually no floor over it, so you can look straight down into the kitchen area.
That's a good point of view if you didn't want somebody to see you. All right.
You walk down the hall. At the end of the hall are two doors on both sides. So as you're walking, one door is on your left and one door is directly in front of you.
Well, I'll try the one to my left.
All right. You open up that door, peek into the room. It's another bedroom. Uh, this one fairly tidied up, but you do see some things thrown about, looking a little off than the rest of the room.
Hmm. So the room is just kind of messy, like somebody had kind of tossed things around looking for something.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I guess I shall take a look around the room and see if I can find anything of interest.
You notice the messy room, walk around it. The bed has been thrown about a little bit. You can't tell if it's just from somebody previously sleeping in it or anything before. You peek over the bed and you actually find a pillow torn up in pieces laying on the other side of the bed. You look around a bit more and you also see the fireplace in the room and some of the soot actually pushed out into the room.
Like something had crawled out from it or back into it. Can I tell
Uh,
which direction they're going? Is it the soot moving away from it? Like, are there little tiny footprints?
no footprints through the soot, but it has come into the room. So, as if something had come through the chimney, but it's as if something pushed out a bunch of the soot, but you don't see any markings in it.
I'll take a look and inside of the chimney itself to see if the opening at the top looks like something had like broken it up or destroyed it, or just to see if I can see through it at all, like daylight.
What's your passive perception?
Um,
Just to see if you
17.
even yeah, you don't have to roll for it. You look up the chimney, and you can actually see a bunch of the dirt and soot actually pushed out of it. It's been pretty cleaned, as if something had moved through and taken a lot of the soot out. You can just see it all over the floor. You look up through the chimney, and you can see the sun still peeking out through the top of it a bit.
Mhm.
And you see some of the bricks up there kind of uneven, so some of the bricks are missing.
Okay. Can About how big is the opening of the top of the chimney?
Looking up at it, you don't think that you could fit through it,
Mhm.
but say a small, like, let me try and think, like a dog or a smaller animal, something of that size would be able to fit through that opening.
Okay. So bigger or smaller than a bread basket.
Yeah.
um And do I see any dried slime or anything like that around the room?
Checking over the room, no, you don't find any.
So what items are in the room itself? Is it like a bed and a desk, like your normal kind of items?
Exactly. You find the bed, which had been messed up a bit, a rug laying out over the middle of the room, which looks like it kind of got pushed to one side. There's a dresser, um, which looks untouched, and a small table on the other side of the room, as well as another door.
Okay, so was the bed and the rug the only thing that looks like they've been kind of messed with?
Yes.
Okay. I'll investigate the bed to take a look to see if I can see if there are any claw marks that I can kind of discern what sort of an animal or how many claws they have or how deep the gouges are, that kind of stuff.
Okay. You look over the bed. You can see that the pillow had been torn up and some of the remnants left on the bed as you're moving around the blanket. You do notice the bed is also slightly off, as if something had pushed it to into more of a diagonal look. You look under the bed. You don't find any markings. You don't find any footprints, claw markings, or anything like that.
Okay. Um, are the windows fine? Does it look like the windows have been damaged at all?
You look at the two windows of the room. They are perfectly intact.
Okay. Hmm. And the reason why I ask that is I'm just trying to see how whatever came in and attacked someone in that bed, how they got them out of this room. So that's what I'm trying to kind of figure out. Um, so are the only openings that would be big enough for a person, because the windows obviously again they're untouched. Is the only opening big enough for a human to get through that door right there, leading out of the room?
Other than the windows, which are untouched, yes.
Okay. Um, I really can't think of anything more in this room. So I will step back out into the hall and then check the other door.
You open that door, and all you find behind it is just a toilet and bath. That looks to be the restroom.
Okay. And I'll check the window to see if anything, if that window's been touched at all.
You look through that window. It's completely intact, but being familiar with some of the other occurrences, you open the window and look out from the window, and you check around the windowsill, and you do find some more of the dried slime along the windowsill.
Interesting. Okay. So then I will go back to the other room and check the windowsill for the slime. Even though they've been untouched, I want to check the windowsills on these ones also.
You check the windowsills. On these windowsills specifically, you don't find any slime.
Okay, so only that one had slime. Something came down through the chimney. Okay. Um, but the window in the bathroom, would that window be large enough for a person to fit through?
Um, a I'd say a thinner person would be able to fit through, but it'd be a struggle. It's smaller than the
Fairy
other two
sized.
windows. Yeah, like a fairy or gnome. Well, even a thin human would, but they would struggle to get through it.
And I'm not thin.
Olaf probably wouldn't be able to. He'd probably get stuck.
Okay. I'll head back into the room and I want to look specifically to see if I can find any sigils um, or any kind of markings whatsoever that might have been put on this room to kind of mark this room that it should be like it should be a target or something.
You look over just kind of knowing about certain spells, witchcraft, things like that. For any type of sigil, charm left, anything like that, you do not find any evidence of magic.
Okay. I think I'm done. I head back to the team. Yeah, I'll just head back to the team if you want to move me back
Yeah.
down to the first floor.
Real quick, I will say, as you walk back to the staircase, you do notice there was another door at the top of the staircase. You
Oh,
take a peek into there,
mhm.
and it's another bedroom with two beds kind of set aside from each other. No windows to the room. Both beds have trunks next to them. There's a dresser and uh, a bookshelf in the
Okay.
room. Uh, Looks very average. Doesn't look like it's been used or touched in quite some time. There's dust covering most of the room.
Okay. But I don't see the beds have any damage or anything like that.
Just slightly messy, but no damage.
Okay. I will check. the chest on the first bed right here.
You open up the chest and look inside. You find some clothing. Take it out. Looks to be clothing for an adult male, just from the build of the clothing and how it was tailored and made. With some boots and a belt in there with a few pouches and a dagger in a sheath on it.
Okay. You said a dagger with a sheath on it? Sorry,
Yeah.
I kind of something else caught my attention right at the tail end there. Okay.
No, yeah, yeah. There's a dagger in its pouch on the belt.
Okay, I will check. What kind of belt did you say it was again?
Just a leather belt.
Okay, I'll check it. Pull the dagger out just to see if there's anything special about the dagger.
You pull out the dagger, and it's oddly made, a little different than normal. Um, the blade curves in two different directions, so it almost winds up to the point.
Mhm.
Uh, Knowing your history with it, you are familiar that looks like it was made by some sort of fae.
Okay, that's a good item to keep an eye on. I will take that with me. I'm not going to stow it or anything like that. I'm just going to hold on to it in my hand. And then I will check the second trunk.
You check the other trunk. That one is completely empty.
All right. How about the bookshelf?
You look over the bookshelf. There's an assortment of different books. Some majority of it written in Elvish. Books more scholarly, educational books. Some books on certain magics. Books about the Fae, and some stories as well. Noticing some of the titles and covers, you recognize them as stories about fairies and some fae and adventures in the Fey wildlands.
Okay. But nothing stands out to me or anything like that.
No.
All right. And then the other item that you said in the room was what, a desk?
A dresser.
A dresser. I will investigate the dresser.
You look over the dresser. There's some clothing in it, but as you're pulling out the drawers, looks like it hasn't been touched in quite some time.
All right. And I'll kind of edge the bookshelf out just a bit to see, like, just to see if I can see if there's anything behind it.
Yeah, you kind of give a double take over the room and kind of adjust things here and there. You don't find anything suspicious.
All right. Well, I found the dagger on a belt, so I will take the belt with me downstairs and I will approach my team.
All right. Put you back up.
All right. So I shall show the dagger to my team and explain to them that I found it in a trunk that looks like it hadn't been touched in a very, very long time in a room that seems as if it hadn't been touched for a while. But the blade itself does look like it's been made by Faye. But much more interesting, I found a room upstairs that it looks like something may have broken in. We have soot coming in from the fireplace, a bed that's been destroyed and ripped apart, looks like claw marks. The rug is disheveled. And then when I checked the bathroom, and that was the only thing out of sorts in the room. And then when I went to the other room, it seemed to be the loo, and it had the same goo on it that we had seen before at our friend's house. But the window had not been destroyed or anything like that. It was just on the windowsill.
Wonder if it tastes the same. Maybe it's the same monster.
I
You should
will
taste it.
I will go back up, and so I'm gonna go back up and scrape a little bit of the goo off onto the knife itself and hand it over to Sprinkles. Yeah,
Do you
Sprinkles to
use
try.
the dagger that you found?
Yes.
All right. You come back
Fuck.
down with a little bit of the goo, and you hand it over to Sprinkles. And before you, well, in your excitement, knowing Sprinkles, you lick the dagger, and notice it tastes exactly the same. But you also look over the um, the dagger as you're holding it, and you notice it was made by a fairy.
Ooh.
And as a fairy, you know that the specific types of fairies that would craft these sort of items are very malicious and tricksters.
And you licked it.
I did. I licked the goo off the murder hobo weapon.
Oh no. The murder fairy weapon. The murder hobo fairy weapon.
Ugh.
Can we tell if the blade itself has any magical properties?
The blade does not.
Okay.
I feel like
Then
there's more to that.
I will give the blade over to Sprinkles and see if she can glean, or if Sprinkles can glean any information from it.
Oh god, I'm so stupid though.
Sprinkles, make me a history check.
Fuck. Okay.
It's like -10. How'd you get a -7?
I'm at a
My intelligence
-2.
is 0.
Oops.
That's fine. I mean, they're not too different.
Jesus.
I accidentally hit it twice, but like I said, I'm stupid.
you, you look over the dagger, and as you're kind of flipping it over, looking at it, you look at the hilt of the dagger, and as you're turning it over, you cut yourself with it.
Makes
Um,
sense.
and just notice that it's very finely made and very sharp still. And the only fairies that you know that could have made this are generally in the royal lineage of fairies.
Well, we got some fake court on our hands.
Ooh.
Big. So they're probably winter fairies because winter fairies are evil.
I don't know if Sprinkles would know that, but
Well, if she's if Sprinkles is a member of Fairy Society, then they would.
Sprinkles is also not the brightest.
Yeah.
Clearly, she cut her hand, so.
See, my wisdom is +2, whereas my intelligence is -2.
Hey, it sounds like you're on par to run for office in our country.
Hey.
But your intelligence might need to be a -5 to actually try for office.
And she did that with a dungeon master that loves mind flayers. That's weird.
Ooh. It has a giant tattoo of illithids.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite
All
tattoo.
right.
All right. And as you've investigated, you look out the windows. You've noticed the sun has gone down a bit more. It's starting to get into the evening.
Did we have a time frame on when we could expect our guest?
Myra just said during the night.
Guess what I just remembered I have? My choking glitter.
Mm.
I'm
All right,
so
we know-
happy. I can't wait to use it.
We know Sprinkles kinks, but is there anything
Oh,
else?
God. No, I'm done.
All right. What are you guys doing with the dagger and everything? Are you just keeping it out, or
Can I make a history check on it?
I
Or
don't
some
know
kind of
anything
check
about
just to see
fairy
what
court.
it is?
No. I'm looking over
No?
your character. No, you to you it looks like a weirdly made dagger that doesn't look like it would work too well in combat.
I can't kill with it.
Does it seem as anything that I would have read about?
So you have time. You go upstairs, just remembering that you noticed some books about the Fae upstairs. You go over to the bookshelf and kind of flicker through a couple of those specific books, and you find in one of the books it mentions that the Fae of the court will gift artifacts and treasures to those that they have made deals with.
Myra made a deal with the evil fairies. Myra's an evil fairy. That's why she doesn't like fairies. She thought that you're an evil fairy.
Or maybe, or you said there was men's clothes up there. Maybe her husband made a deal.
Sprinkles is the real target.
Ugh, I, man, I feel so sorry for whoever wants to fuck with Sprinkles. I have so much necrotic damage.
I'm just doing push-ups, getting swole as shit for this battle. Just doing push-ups.
Come on. Come on.
Ugh,
Let's
what
go.
are you
1,
doing?
2, 74, 136. I don't know how to count.
Ah,
Ah.
I lift things up and I put them down.
I lift things up and I put them down. I think we should ask Myra about the blade since we have a little bit of time. I'll go ask her. I'm an elf.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to me.
So I will go back through the room and knock on the door and say, Myra, we seem to have found something very, very interesting out here that might could you please take a look at this artifact that we found?
You knock on the door and step back a little bit. The door opens and Myra creeps out.
Hi, Myra. Have you Oh yeah, have you seen this before? And I will hold the dagger up and I will point to the blade.
Myra covers her mouth and looks down for a second. And she looks back up at you. My husband.
Where did your husband get this from?
That damned fairy.
What fairy?
He said he would make my husband better.
What was your husband sick with?
We didn't know.
How did
And
you pay for it?
she holds up and she points to her ears.
Ah. What happened to your husband after you brought the blade into the house?
It was a gift. And then he was cleaning it, became obsessed with it. And she starts crying and visibly becomes uncomfortable. And then he fell. And it stabbed through his heart.
About how long ago did you get the blade?
Over 20 years ago.
Okay, so it's definitely not related to what's happened now. Okay. So the blade stabbed through your husband. What happened to him? And I don't mean to reopen this wound, but what happened after it stabbed your husband? Did he die from the stab itself, or was there a secondary effect that killed him?
He died, and I locked it in the spare room. I didn't want to see it again.
Do you mind if we hold on to it?
Take it.
I can even pay you for it if you would like.
She holds out her hand.
I will hand the blade over to Sprinkles. Sprinkles is a fairy. They're probably best equipped to deal with evil fairy magic of blades, but I'll keep an eye on Sprinkles just in case they start polishing it a little too closely.
You do remember
Just
that Sprinkles is in his humanish looking form. Myra still does not know that Sprinkles is a fairy.
I was more describing that than saying it out loud, but
Yeah,
I
I
will
just
hand
wanted-
it over to Sprinkles and say that you would be best equipped to hold on to the weapon for now.
as a cleric.
Yes, as a cleric.
There you go.
Your divine magics may protect you.
you, you hear the door shut behind you as Myra goes back into the room.
Okay, so we have an evil fairy blade that people fall on and stab themselves to death.
It's the one
That's
true
fun.
blade.
The one blade to rule them all. Hey, who knows? That weapon may come in handy in this evening's activities. So Sprinkles, please keep that close at hand.
I do have a big warhammer.
Well, I should probably hold on to the blade then in the meantime. If you're going to be wielding a giant warhammer, woo-hoo-hoo.
I am a murder hobo.
Oh my
At
god,
heart.
please tell me you're going to be wielding the warhammer from your fairy form.
Uh, that was like my whole goal is to have my tiny little fairy being like murder smash, kind of like Harley Quinn.
Even as a small creature, he has enough strength to wield it.
Mhm.
See,
That was the whole point.
and it's things like this that make me really mad that World of Warcraft scales the armor based on your race. Like it scales the
Well,
armor size. I want a little dreadnought gnome that you can't tell that it's a thing in there. It just looks like a giant ball of metal and spikes. All right. Let's see. So I'll hold on to the blade for now. I have not touched to create my martial weapon. That's what I was falling asleep for. That's what I went into
Yes, so
transform.
you already
was
did.
Yes. It was my quarterstaff, right?
Correct.
Okay. Then I shall hold on to that for my martial weapon. But I will keep the blade in my pocket.
you do have that belt that holds it.
I do. I have the bag of holding too. So I'll put it in my bag of holding. Actually, no, you're right. I'll strap the belt around my waist with the blade on it.
That way
Say,
it's easier to grab.
put the unknown Fey weapon into an interdimensional pocket.
Does it look like it'd be shaped for throwing?
Yes.
Ooh. I got plans. All right. I think I'm good to settle in and wait for our query this evening. What say you both?
I'm so ready.
I want to
All
kill
right.
shit.
Olaf says out loud in the room. Uh, where would you guys like to sit and wait for the night?
Did we find out from Myra where the entity normally passes through?
You did not.
We should ask Myra of that. Myra. So, how are we gonna get her attention?
So when you knock on the door, you hear the axe beak like moving around and cawing when you knock
Kind
on the
of
door.
butting into her, kind of a thing.
Kind of like a chihuahua, yeah.
Okay. So I'll knock on
That's
the
an
door.
accurate description.
Of an axe beak, yeah. Just a giant chihuahua with a metal beak. You knock on the door. It takes a second. You hear the axe beak freaking out in the room a bit. Myra opens it up, and you ask her where the creature usually passes over her house. She just kind of going through it tells you that she usually sees it checking the windows.
To the wall.
Of the first story or the second story?
She says from the first story, she hides down here at night.
She hides in the first story, or okay. So
In the first story,
it peeks through the windows on the first floor. Does it say which windows does he check normally?
she says all of them.
Would we be able to see them from the second floor?
She says probably. She has heard it come into the house on the second floor at night. She's heard things get thrown around upstairs.
Ah. Hmm. See, would he is the entity fairly slight? Like more narrow than I am to be able to maybe fit down a chimney?
She says that she reminds you that the creature that she's seen seems like a floating head, but
Hmm.
it's a bit larger than yours or her head, but about twice the size.
Oh. What do you guys think? I thank Myra for her time. And I turn to the rest of the team and ask if they have any questions for her.
Does it come through the chimney?
She hides from it.
I feel like you'd be able to hear something going through the chimney with all the bricks and rubble and stuff inside.
Hmm.
Is it Christmas?
But she can't hear, so
Hmm. That's
So it's
it does
mostly
come
the
into
chimney
the
and the
house.
windows.
It does come into the house from the second floor, she said. So I'm guessing that's what is coming in through the chimney then. So we do have that room where it sometimes comes in through the chimney, but then I guess we'd have to decide where we would want to engage with this entity. Do we want to do it in an enclosed space up on the second story or outside? My
I
vote
can
is
find
for
it wherever.
outside.
You can do outside. You're not a close combat expert.
I am a close combat expert. However, as a monk, I do have a large amount of movement. So I like to give myself plenty of space just in case. However, if we do fight it in an enclosed space, it wouldn't have that many avenues to run away from.
Except the windows.
yeah. But we gotta the only other thing that I can think of for enclosed spaces is my spells.
Hmm. Do they have a large area of effect?
It's what I'm like working on going through because I'm not used to playing a spellcaster, so I'm trying to learn.
Hmm.
I'm more of a stabby hobo than a spell hobo.
Let me take a look real quick. You in your head sort through the spells that you know, and the only one that you know would affect an area is Cloud Kill,
Okay. The
which
rest
is
are
a
kind of more directional.
yes,
I
a
think
single target.
maybe outside might be a little bit better of an idea, just to give our cleric some room to work.
Because I've also got the anti-life shell, but I feel like that's more of like a protection barrier thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Should we attack it from above as it goes to investigate the first story? That's what my thought is. Just jump out the window, go rah, just like that. Just rah.
I mean,
Um,
I can fly a little bit. I am a fairy.
It's true.
I can't fly.
I mean, there's always bait.
that's true.
I could be a good bait.
He does seem to like humans, right? Or you are. I don't know what you are.
I'm a human.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Hmm. Let's see. If we're near Myra, we're less likely. So we should start from inside of the house because Myra is this area is where we're less likely to get sleepified. That's what we'll call it. Sleepified. Um, I'm trying to take everything into account. So thinking that if it engages, because the last time we were knocked unconscious, rendered unconscious, and Myra is the only one that seems to be able to stay awake, which means that we need to be near Myra when we first encounter this being or entity. So I think maybe we ready to pull it outside once we engage. We could send sprinkles flying straight out of the window. There we go. We'll duck
Throw her
down.
like a football.
Yes, there we go.
Or throw.
Olaf will throw the fairy,
Throw the fairy.
and I will jump through and go rah.
Hurrah. That's what you're
So,
going to do with the big bad boy. Hurrah.
so you want to go to the second story or the first?
I'm thinking. So the way Myra explained it, I can't remember. Did she explain that she stays awake when the thing comes over, right? Which means
Yes.
that did she say that it was the house or was it her that was the key to that? Can't remember. I'm wondering if it's the blade. What if the blade in the house that I have on my person is the reason why she has not been going unconscious, the evil fairy blade that makes people want to stab themselves with it?
Could be.
Or did the GM not think of that? And that was a really good idea because I saw your eyes light up a little bit. Like either I keyed off of something or I had a really good idea.
What does the GM think of?
I scared to think sometimes. I've known you your whole life and you still frighten me every now and again.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, just you wait.
it's mainly the bleach blonde hair that frightens me. Let's see.
It was a good Laxus cosplay.
January anime con. Oh, Halloween anime thing at Collectors Marketplace. We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
Yes, I was planning on going to that.
but
But back to this. I'm thinking we start from the second story and we get ready to pounce. We ready our attack from the second story because my guess, just from everything that we've gathered so far, is he's likely. Let me ask Myra really quick. So I'll knock again, bugging her again.
She opens the door.
Myra, does the head check the first floor before it goes and comes into the house, or does it change it up?
She tells you that every time she has seen it, it checks the first floor. In the few times that she has seen it, she has seen it go like from the window, and then she hides right away.
See, and that would have been an appropriate time for Ryan to go to the walls.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
We talk about Sprinkle's last name one more time, but go on.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, yeah. What do you think, Sprinkles?
And now Olaf.
Kill them all.
So we were able to gather from Myra that the head will check the windows and then go to the second floor.
So I've got kind of an idea.
Mhm.
Just because like I can use spells and stuff, like with the kitchen stuff. What if we like use bait in the kitchen and then I can be above kinda to use my spells because I don't think this house is 30 feet tall. And that's like my smaller spells range.
So it comes in from the second floor down to the first floor.
So it'll check the first floor's windows and then come in through the second floor. So we may have to draw it out.
I can be the bait. Slaps his quads. I'm thick. I'm ready.
We'll call him a master bait.
And we'll move on past that.
Yes.
Yeah, move on past that.
So,
Of course, it's the frost net person that's getting the most giggles.
so who would like to be on the first floor and where, and who would like to be on the second floor?
I can be on the first floor. I can tank it.
I'll be on the first floor with Olaf as well, hidden. I am going to hide near Myra in the room and wait and listen for the trap to be sprung. And then I can come flying out through the door and shut the door behind me on my way out and back up because I have so much movement speed that I can cover a lot of ground really fast.
I like to hide the. I like to hide the kitchen. Is it on the first floor of the kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Olaf's in the kitchen.
And like another thing that I was thinking of is like with my Warhammer and stuff, if I can hit it, I can just whack it into the kitchen.
And I am using the olive oil to get nice and shiny, nice and greasy.
Olaf would. Sprinkles, come with me up to the second story. I'll show you a good room to set up in. And I will take Sprinkles to the second floor.
All right. Just gonna move you two there.
Sprinkles, this room right here at the top of the stairs, right here. So this is the room that I would advise hiding in. This room right that it's right next to me. However, if you come with me to right over here, I'll show you where it comes in.
Sorry. Technical difficulties.
You're fine. Sprinkles follows you down the hall.
This room, yeah, that room right there. So this room, this is where I'm guessing he's going to come out because that's where the soot is dragged.
Okay. I can
And
see
then
that.
in this, if we leave the room and make a quick left, there's that restroom with the untouched window that has the goo on the windowsill.
Okay.
And the room that I showed you to set up in was the one that I found a blade.
Okay.
So my advice would be to hide probably somewhere right around this spot that I'm standing on. Wait near the door as quietly as you can until the trap is sprung.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to walk straight to the guardrail right over here where I'm standing to engage into the kitchen. Yeah, right there.
Okay. I see now.
And then that just to the right of us is the kitchen that we can see down into.
Through the broken banister.
Yes. All right. Well, I believe everyone has their...
And where were you waiting, Glenwarren?
With Myra.
In the room with Myra?
Yes, in the room with Myra listening.
Okay. So I'm going to move you there. And...
Actually, I'm going to wait.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me check.
Glenwarren using his knowledge of tactics.
Mm-hmm. And monks to reduce fall damage. Because I'm trying to see. Can't remember where it is, but I'm supposed to reduce fall damage.
I know what you're talking about.
There's slow fall right here.
Yeah, slow fall.
You can use your reaction when you fall to reduce any falling damage you may take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. So I can reduce 60 points of damage jumping from this banister down into the kitchen.
Oh, it's only 10 feet. You wouldn't take damage.
Oh, sweet. Then I will wait. I'm gonna be the one closest to the door. That way I can. Well, no, you're right. I'll wait up with Sprinkles. I'll wait behind Sprinkles, and then I can jump over the guardrail around Sprinkles.
Okay.
To assist. So there we go.
Second bait.
All right. So as you settle in, you notice the sun has set and it starts to get dark. So I'm actually going to move you over to the right on the map. To the more disturbing nighttime map. Everyone see themselves?
Yep.
All right. So, Olaf, you're sitting in the kitchen. It's gotten just dead quiet. You can see the light of the moon shining in through some of the windows. It's completely quiet. Sprinkles, Glenwarren, you're sitting up in that room on the second floor. You're just kind of, Glenwarren, you're knelt down, kind of being quiet. The only thing you guys can hear is the slight hint of each other's breathing. Olaf, as you're looking about the kitchen down the room, you look out the front windows a bit, and you see a shadow of something move past the window directly in front of you.
I flex.
All right, so you're just gonna stand there flexing?
Yep. Show him who's boss.
Gotta look appetizing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of oil on me. I'm shining like a fish.
Ugh.
A tasty treat, some would say.
Myra has run out of olive oil now.
Exactly.
Glenwarren, Sprinkles, you're listening in. You can hear Olaf, his breathing. Just you can actually hear it now. It's gotten a little heavier as he's standing there flexing. You hear down the hall from you the sound of something knocking, like being knocked over or pushed.
We'll just keep on standing by.
Wait for the noises to get closer.
You hear breathing around the corner from you, down the hall, as it sounds. It's breathing heavy, and you can hear like kind of flicking of a wet noise a little bit.
Sounds tasty.
And you can hear it coming from down the hallway. Is getting closer and closer, and you can tell it's right around the corner from you.
Just keep on holding.
I start twerking.
You're not twerking though. I don't see you twerking.
All of a sudden, we hear a bunch of like.
We're on
armor.
YouTube. We can't do that on YouTube.
Oh, you can twerk with your clothes on YouTube.
Oh, most certainly.
Oh yeah, you totally can.
My back out. You want to see me throw my back out?
You're a young man. You're in your 20s. I have faith in you that you can twerk without hurting yourself.
I'm 31, so
you're
already at a loss.
Aw, you're 31.
Well, Olaf is in his prime, and he can twerk if he would like. But you hear this creature coming around the corner, and everything goes black.
Fuck.
Isn't there a Rolling Stone song about that?
Paint it black.
The three of you wake up. Downstairs, you can see the sun peeking in through the windows.
I should have kicked the door.
Wait a tick.
Wasn't it just nighttime?
You're all lying on the ground downstairs. The entire house is trashed. Linwarn, you look up above you, and all the windows behind you are shattered inward. The chimney on the bottom floor, you can see piles of brick have fallen down into it, down the chimney to the bottom floor. Olaf, you're sitting in the kitchen. All the cabinets have been spilled out, some ripped off of the wall. All of the pictures drawn of that face are scattered across the floor. Sprinkles, you look over and you see the table and chairs knocked over on the first floor, and the room across from it, the door has been ripped off its hinges.
That's not good. So not good.
We need to go check that door. We need to go look for Myra. Like, first thing.
You begin to rush toward the door, and as you're running there, you get closer, and you think about it, and you don't know why you're rushing to the door.
Oh no, we don't.
Because we don't know whose house this is.
You're in a stranger's house. It's completely trashed. You were stalking out for some monster at night in one of the abandoned houses in town.
Is it Clyde's house?
You don't know. It's just an abandoned house.
Do I still have the knife on me?
Yes. You do a once over of your body, trying to remember why you're here, and you find on your hip a leather belt with the sheath on the side of it, on the left-hand side, and you go to reach at that. You don't feel anything in there, You look about and you see a dagger pinned to the wall next to you.
Huh. I investigate the dagger.
You take the dagger out of the wall. It's a curved dagger. It's curved into both directions, kind of like a winding, almost like a winding river pattern on it. You look it over, and you're somewhat familiar with it. It looks like something made by the Fae.
I'm going to present it to Sprinkles and asks if Sprinkles knows what this is.
Sprinkles, you take the dagger and you hold it in your hand, and you know this specific type of dagger. You feel somewhat familiar with it. You know it's made by evil fairies, tricksters, the devious kind of fairies that make deals, and it's on the edge of your mind. For some reason, you think about it, and you know that these are given to people that make deals with fairies as a type of treasure.
So it's a treasure gift from the murder fairies.
Yes.
I wonder who would have received a gift from the murder fairies. Who would have made a deal? Who would have been unwise enough to do so?
We're not all bad.
Nah, but the murder fairies, I believe it's in the name.
That's fair.
Hmm.
It's probably her husband.
Maybe
Who's
we should go and rest up a bit. I don't know why.
when
But
you take
if we were, wouldn't I have remembered the knife itself, but not the story behind the knife? Because we were waiting in this house for a monster, so we do remember waiting for a monster in this house.
you remember finding the knife, which is why you have the belt strapped to you, upstairs in a trunk, and you strapped it
Okay.
on. You don't know why it was stuck into the wall.
Is there anything on the knife? Like any residue or blood or anything like that?
No.
How deep was it stuck into the wall?
As somebody that's practiced throwing daggers before, full full strength, uh, quite a few inches into the wall. It was stuck in there.
Hmm. Was that at an angle that it looks like it would have been thrown or stabbed?
At an angle, it looks like someone must have thrown it. You're trying to remember. You don't remember throwing anything last night, or really much of it. You think maybe when you were sitting in the chair, maybe you threw it, but thinking about it, when you throw for fun, it's never at full strength. This was thrown deep into the wall. You go to take a step towards Sprinkles, and you feel your body just in pain. You look over and you see spots of your own blood on your clothes.
I think I need to get these treated, Sprinkles.
But I actually
Um,
have something for that. I'm not all murder hobo.
but I'm wondering if it would make more sense to go and rest up for a bit at the inn while we try and gather ourselves and figure out what in the heck is going on, or if we should use healing spells.
I gotta say, I just saw my hit points and I'm just like, oh God.
Maybe we should go and check out the inn and see what we could glean. See if anybody knows whose house this was or why we're here. Why we're in this specific house.
All right. So, do you guys want to go to the inn?
That's what I'm thinking. We could rent a room for the afternoon and rest up. That's my thoughts.
Olaf, you hear them having this conversation across the room. You're still sitting in the kitchen, through some of the cabinets, kind of just scattered amongst you. You grab your sword next to you, lying on the ground. You stand up and walk over.
Oh, hey, look at that. We had a third.
I was in a different room.
What happened to you?
Coming to this area kicked the shit out of me. I'm tired as shit. I need to rest up. A nice ale sounds good.
Olaf says that he also thinks going to the local inn and pub sounds like a good idea.
All right, let's go.
All right, the three of you step out of the abandoned house, and you do recognize what you see outside. You see spattered blood just outside in the grass, and you see two owls dead, scattered about in the grass.
I'm going to investigate and see if we can glean any information on what killed them.
You look over the owls, and you roll me a medicine check, actually, Glenwarren.
Yeah. Didn't mean to do that at an advantage.
It's fine. We'll just take the first one. You look over the corpses of the owls outside, and look at some of the pieces, the remains, and you see teeth marks throughout the body. Teeth marks that are fairly large, bigger than yourself, but smaller than like a giant lizard or something of large size.
Do we find any tracks or anything? Any footprints?
Okay. Glenwarren tells you guys that you should look around the household for any type of footprints. You look around the house. You see some of the shattered glass from the windows has spilled to the outside around them. Some of the bricks from the chimney have fallen to the ground behind the household. You look about, but you don't see any type of footprints of some sort of large creature or anything like that. So
and do I remember that that's our companion's owls?
You recognize one of the owls as Olaf's owl, but you do not recognize the other one.
Okay, so I've forgotten the owl as well. And so do I remember Clyde? Ah.
You think to yourself about coming to this town, hunting a monster that you remember somebody bringing up in a town as you were passing. You think you remember hearing about a monster, and as you've been going through this, looking at everything, you really can't tell what monster this is. You're not familiar with it.
Even with my Monster Hunter book?
Yes. Which tells you that what you're dealing with here is not of this plane. And being a fairy, you know you don't recognize it as something in the Feywild either.
It's not good. So not good. I am completely regretting my decision to not break down the door, just smash it, as when I heard it nearby. Uh,
I'm trying to think of what to do next, right? Because
Same.
it's what do? We go back to the inn where they don't remember anyone, and we're not going to remember anything, and we make no headway, and then nobody knows the monster. Metagaming, just kind of at a loss right now.
Very good. So the three of you, at a loss of what to do, decide to at least go back to the inn and rest up a bit.
At this point, I would leave. Like, let's call in a level 15, 16. Come and take a look at this. All right.
I mean, Sprinkles is gonna want to know what it tastes like, so it sounded delicious.
Olaf doesn't run from a fight.
There isn't
With
even
two,
a fight.
with
We
two
can't
hit
remember ever
points,
being in a fight.
I might run from a fight with 2 hit points.
You mean a fight that none of us can remember ever getting into, or why, or what attacked us, or why we were even here?
It was herpes.
On a monster hunt.
If we don't have a reason, but we didn't come here to do a monster hunt initially. That was not our initial reason for coming to the town.
You recall, just trying to remember it as you've been piecing this together, in passing, at least you're pretty sure, again, just going through your memory of what you can remember, that somebody said this town had a monster problem. You don't remember where, as you're trying to remember and just piecing things together. And as you look at yourself and your companions, there's definitely something here.
But the person that told us that there was a monster, we don't remember ever talking to.
Yes, like I said, you're pretty sure, but you don't remember exactly where. And
Okay.
thinking about it, you know that something is here.
All right.
And you know that if you leave, doesn't mean that it'll stop.
Yeah, but that's like, you have no way of investigating anything. You have no idea what you're doing, why you're there, what's attacking you, but you're just going to keep going. Like,
So
my character has 14 intelligence. I mean, something tells me that this is a little out of our depth at this point. Is this really is. This is outside of our depth.
Yeah.
There's something that has attacked us. We don't know what it is. We don't know why it attacked us. All that we know is this is way outside of our ability to handle. We prepped the night before. We tried to ambush the monster. We were left almost dead. Something tells me we need this. We're outside of our depth. That's what my thought process is.
I mean, I agree with you. I have 112 hit points.
At this point, we might as well just go to the end. At this point, we might as well take a rest. We might as well like it's there's nothing kind of pulling us along.
So the three of you go back to the inn, just at a loss, knowing that you at least need to rest, at least need to get heal your wounds, take a moment, think about everything. So you go back to the inn. And let me move you guys over.
All right.
So you go to the inn, to the tiny ferry once again. You look over and you see the owner sitting at the bar, cleaning some plates. She looks over at you and waves. Oh, hi. You guys are back?
Do we remember her?
Yes.
Okay. Here we are. Little worse for the wear.
Yeah, you look like something really took a number on you. Did you run into the Scaly Monster?
Scaly Monster. I don't remember you saying anything about a Scaly Monster the last time that we spoke.
Well, well, I guess not then. But yeah, there's some sort of creature. It lives off, uh, just out of town, right off of the cliff. There's a cave right there. It usually doesn't harm anyone, but that. Sorry, I saw your injuries, and I thought maybe you guys ran into it.
And I do an intimidation check, like just jump over the counter, sword at her throat. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you know.
Yeah, so you jump over the counter, holding your sword at the woman who's given you a night's stay before and food. She holds back. Oh
Failed
my
to
god!
mention the giant scaly monster that just ripped us to shreds the night
Yeah,
before
like
when we
she
spoke
forgot
to
to
her
tell
last
us
time.
that.
Like I said, it usually doesn't come into town. I don't think it's ever come in. I know some of the woodsmen have spotted it, but I didn't think you guys would run into it in town.
Well, it just messed us up and my party, so I'm out for blood. Tell me what
Where,
you know.
where did you guys run into it?
Some house right across the way. An
Oh,
abandoned house that we found.
it did come into town? I swear,
We're now granted, we do not know what attacked us. We can't remember a thing about it. So we can't
Maybe there's a
confirm.
reason it doesn't come into town and we go talk to it. It tells
she
us why way.
she looks over at you. You don't remember what did that to you?
No, we have no memory of the events last night. We remember setting up to ambush something, and we woke up this morning.
Oh, s- I'll tell you everything. Can you just lower your sword?
Eh,
Olaf does what he wants.
I lower it, but it's like it's at the ready. Like if she fucks up, I will kill her.
Okay. I didn't
I
think
don't know. Sprinkles is pretty protective of this lady.
I didn't think you guys would run into it. Uh so just over the past couple years, a couple years ago, when some of our men were working in cutting down some trees, they discovered a path going around over the cliffside, leading into a cave. They said that they saw some sort of scaly monster and came running back to town with their tails between their legs. No one has ever gone there since, and it hasn't bugged anyone.
Well, I guess we could go and speak to this monster after we've healed up a bit. Doesn't sound like it's very malicious if it's not attacking the town or anything. Sounds like it's a pretty thinking being, so we may be able to glean some information from it.
Yeah. Definitely need to
Yeah.
get some hit points back first.
If you want to know where it is exactly, I would talk to one of the loggers. One lives just next to the inn, basically. Um, his name is Brevo. Uh, there's an abandoned house right across the street from him. The two-story one with the purple roof. He lives right across from it. I believe he's the one that ran into it originally. He could tell you exactly how to get there.
Hi, we can go and talk to him after we get to rest. Seems as
Okay.
though we're in no immediate danger.
Would you like any food?
Yes, but we'll eat it in our room.
Okay. I'll bring it up to you.
And we can pay for a second night.
She looks over at Olaf. I was gonna ask.
How much for the room for another night?
With full meals, a 3 gold total.
I
I
toss
pay
her.
for it.
Olaf pays for it. That's an expensive room. That's like a year's wages.
For the three of you, with all meals. Also,
Not
after
bad.
you have after Olaf has physically assaulted this woman.
If she is a woman.
You look her over, at least from the outward appearance, a woman.
She feeds me nice. Sprinkles just kind of like pushes Olaf.
Oh, yeah. You're the fairy, right?
Mhm.
Sorry, you're
He
dressed like that.
pulls the crown off real quick, just like pop, and then puts it back on.
Oh, perfect. I've always loved fairies. Uh, Here, I remember you, and she pulls out um, a spatula just covered in rust. You like these, right?
Yeah. He grabs it real quick and just starts chewing.
All right. I'll bring the food up when I have it ready. Okay.
Be up there. Sprinkles just starts teetling along with his little rusty spatula.
Mhm.
All right. So the three of you go upstairs, rest in your room. Uh, the owner brings up the food to you. You eat a good meal, rest up, heal some of your wounds, dress them to the best of your abilities. Do you guys wish to take a long rest?
What time is it?
Morning,
Yeah,
early morning.
my long rest is only 4 hours, so I'm good. I can take a 4 hour rest and then I can go ask the what was the name again? The person that we were
Uh,
supposed to go and ask in the 2-story purple building.
Across the street from that abandoned building, which do you remember is the building you just came out of?
Yes.
Brevo.
Revo. That was it.
Yes.
I can go. If you both would like to sleep the full 8 hours, I can sleep my 4 and then go ask Brevo about the monster.
Yeah, I need the full 8. So
Okay.
Olaf
Same.
just passed out.
All right.
I only have 10 out of my 111 hit points.
You feel 10 out of 111 hit points good? Do you? You feel an
Do you feel
exact number of good?
Mhm.
About 1/11 of your normal self is how you feel.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So the three of you go up to your room. You rest for a bit. The owner brings food up to you. You eat, dress your wounds. 4 hours pass. Glenwarren, you're feeling back up to full strength. You leave the other two in the room and close the door behind you. You come downstairs in the inn, wave at the owner, and leave. You walk out into town. You pass the abandoned house that you came from with the window shattered, the chimney broken down. You look across the street from it and find a smaller house. You knock on the door. A large man opens the door. You actually recognize him. Uh, he had he's bald up top, large red beard, wearing cloth clothing with some leather bound. He You met him when you came into town, and he pointed you toward the inn. Uh, yes. What is it? What do you need?
Hail and well met again. Have heard tale of a scaly monster that you have had an encounter with from the innkeeper, and I'd like to inquire about it.
Oh, that thing. Yes, we haven't gone over there since I ran into it. It was a couple years ago. That's in a cave. A huge thing covered in scales.
Was it aggressive at all?
Oh, The moment I went there, I remember it staring at me. It bared its teeth.
But it didn't attack.
I ran. Moment I saw that thing growling and snarling at me, I turned around and me and the boys came back to town.
But it didn't give chase, did it?
No, I assume it didn't want us going into its home.
I wonder
Hmm.
what color the scales are.
What sort of home was it?
So, um, it's right on the cliffside, right outside of town. There's a cave entrance. We just went, just peeked in there. Uh, Damp, large cave. I saw some glow mushrooms throughout before I saw it glowing from the mushroom. The light just beamed over this hideous creature.
Have any of you been to that cave before?
No, we were actually out uh, doing some lumbering, exploring out in the forest, and we found this pathway that led down. It wound over onto the cliffside. I was just exploring, and I stumbled onto it.
Okay. Did the creature seem to be on 2 or 4 legs?
Ah, I don't know how many legs. I saw its face. It was big. Um,
What did the
uh,
face look like?
Covered in green scales. It had yellow eyes. Um, Sharp teeth.
Did it have wings?
No, I looking at it. I'm pretty sure it had at least two legs. I saw the fair front of it, but that was it. I definitely don't recommend going near this thing.
How close did you get to it?
Ah, say I spotted it probably around 20 yards away.
So you were about 20 meters away. It didn't follow you. It didn't give chase. Did it do anything other than snarl and growl at you? Did it launch any other sort of attack? Breathe fire? Did it have a tail?
Ah, not that I remember now. This was a couple years ago, but no, it didn't. Nothing shot at me. I just saw it and it knew it wasn't anything I should be dealing with.
How tall was the creature that you had seen? Was it taller than yourself?
Oh, had to have been at least 10 feet tall.
Okay, so 10 feet tall, at least 10, at least 2 legs, snarls, growls, cover green scales, yellow eyes. Okay. What time of day did you approach the beast?
Midday.
Midday?
Yeah, there was
Okay.
some sunlight shining in from the outside.
All right. Um, is there anything else that you can tell me about the creature? Did it um said it was about 10 feet tall, but when you said that you had seen at least 2 legs and that it was 10 feet tall, was it standing fully upright or was it bent over when you had
Uh,
seen it?
think it would have been standing upright. The biggest thing I remember was its yellow eyes. It just, the green scales, the yellow eyes, just with the light. Uh, Terrifying, honestly.
Huh. So terrifying, 10 feet tall, at least 2 legs, covered in scales, yellow eyes, lives in a big cave on a cliffside. Anything else about the area? Was it um did it seem desolate or did it seem like it was a normal forest? Did you see other creatures nearby?
Uh, Now that you mention it, I remember going through and just the birds chattering and or chirping uh, stopped as I got closer to it. But yeah, I'd say it seemed like animals were staying away from it.
How wide of a berth would you say that they had been giving it? Like, was it a couple of 100 meters before you reached the cave that you stopped hearing the birds, or
Uh, it was a fair distance. I don't recall exactly, but it was a good distance away.
has there ever been anyone else in the town who had seen it?
Uh, I was the only one that saw it. Um, some of the boys, I'm trying to remember that day. Some of the boys, I told about it. Yeah, I remember. I think one of the other one of my boys with the work went and took a peek as well, and was just as terrified and came back.
But he didn't see the beast?
I believe he did. He came running back with as much fear as I did.
Okay, and about how far away from the village would you say that this cave is?
Uh, the cave, I'd say about an hour walk if you head straight to the cliffside. Um, go to the go to the cliffside, follow it north. In the forest, you'll find the pathway that leads to the cave.
And was there any other way of reaching the cave that you had seen that maybe the beast had taken?
No, unless
Okay.
it could climb walls. It's right on the cliff.
It probably climbs walls, teleports, hides itself in shadow, does all sorts of normal things that a beast does.
His eyes
Um,
widen. That's terrifying.
eh, that's why you sit here and cut wood. Um, I thank you for your time, sir.
Yes. If you need anything else, please let us know. If you're gonna deal with the thing, um, as a town, we could probably offer a small reward.
Sure. Who would I talk to about that?
Uh, I've actually gone quite some time without a mayor of the town. That's odd. I just thought about it. I can scrounge some gold from everybody. We've all been afraid of going over there, so if you deal with it, I'd say I could probably scrounge together. What's the going rate for monster hunting? 40 golds.
I wouldn't make yourselves go poor. Definitely don't want you to not have anything to be able to buy anything. So anything that you can spare, don't go out of your way too crazy. We're gonna handle it, and please feel free to reward us as you feel as you feel just.
Definitely, we'll come up with something.
It doesn't even have to be money. If you have something that you believe that might aid us in our future adventures, that might be just as valuable. Sometimes even more so. So just a
I can
thought.
take a look.
Hey, I thank you for your time, sir. And so I shall bow and make my way back to the team.
All right, you go back to the inn. Um, just a little bit of time has passed, about half an hour. So you go back into the inn, go upstairs and rest. Just kind of go into your trance and hang out until Sprinkles and Olaf wake up, fully rested, back up to feeling 100% of 111. Uh, and you go over the details of what you you spoke with the gentleman with. You go over all of that with them. So you both know about this large, 10-foot tall, scaly monster with glowing
Dragon.
yellow eyes.
We don't know that it's a dragon. It has at least
10
two
feet
legs,
tall.
stands 10 feet tall, has green scales with yellow eyes. There, he couldn't see any
Lives in a
wings,
cave.
couldn't see any tails. But he said it's an enormous cave, and an enormous cave would have an opening bigger than 10 feet. So I feel like he'd see if it was a dragon. So maybe dragonkin? I don't know. Maybe something new that we've never fought before or never seen before. Let's go punch it.
Or can't
Maybe another.
remember. You know.
All right. Well, let's go ask about it. And then if it proves harmful, then I'll punch it. Right in the face.
I'll give it throw some glitter at it.
But another good piece of information is before we go just killing things all willy-nilly is it's an hour away from the village. The earth is not scorched, so it's not something against nature, so it's not something that we really have to worry too much about in that regard. So that means that its hunting grounds is smaller than an hour and small enough to where the animals they still have animals in the nearby woods. So not something overly evil that's just out for the pure destruction of everything, considering this had been years ago that he had seen it.
Years for it to grow larger and moodier.
It might be moody for a reason. I wonder if this beast had been affected as well. All right, shall we go check it out?
Sounds good to me.
Olaf,
I'm game. Let's go kill
you
some
in for
shit.
some monster hunting?
Innkeep, any snacks that you can provide for the road or any beverages, we definitely appreciate. And I'll toss her a gold coin.
She sees you off with a basket of bread and berries and a few wedges of cheese. And Olaf is just carrying a large barrel of mead.
Acceptable.
Over one shoulder, just a
Yeah.
half cask.
You know, priorities.
Yeah.
As you're
Potential
walking through the woods,
offerings.
he just kind
Wait.
of opens it up.
Ooh. Can I fit it in my bag of holding? Or is the opening too small?
The opening's too small.
Ah.
Let's get on it.
Oh, gosh.
Ah.
And we'll sidestep that one and keep moving.
Yeah. You're going to sidestep over through the forests, an hour trek. You find exactly how Brevo had told you. You follow the cliffside north. You see a path winding, kind of goes down at a slant, and then it winds over onto the cliffside. You follow that path for a bit until you see an opening in the wall on the side of the cliff. And I will actually just take you guys right over. And can everyone see?
Yep.
Yep.
The stream can see now, too.
Perfect.
Ooh.
All right. So you get a glance inside the cave. You can see some of the sunlight beaming into it, with the ocean kind of spraying the back of you as the waves crash against the side of the cliff. It's fairly damp in the cave. You, from just looking down into the opening, you can see some globe mushroom have sprouted inside the cave, giving additional lighting inside. And I believe all of you,
I'm gonna
you
spell for that.
as you approach the entrance to the cave, You can also see around this pillar right here a little bit of smoke coming up out from it, from behind it, and you can smell as there seems to be a fire inside the cave.
All right. Um. Hmm. After you, Sprinkles.
Of course, send the fairy in first.
I can go first if you want.
Sure. Rolox just is. Did he finish his cask?
You ask him, he kind of like moves it on his shoulder. It's almost done.
Oh, he's just drunk enough.
Sprinkles is gonna take off his crown and stick it in his pocket and start going.
Yeah,
I
switch
stroll right
Sprinkles back.
behind him, whistling.
So all three of you are just walking into the cave.
Yeah, maybe if I'm cute, he won't eat me.
All right, go ahead. You walk into the cave, and walk up to the pillar, just not really being too quiet, but walk up to it, and you, as you approach Sprinkles, as you get closer to it, you see just out of the corner some some sort of green flesh, just barely peeking out.
Flesh, not scales.
From where you are, it looks fairly fleshy.
Glenn Warren is immediately going to drop into a crouch and start coming around the back side of the pillar. I'm going to tap Sprinkles and motion for Sprinkles and Olaf to follow me quietly.
All right, y'all want to take the sneak action?
I really feel like Sprinkles should go the opposite way with his dust.
Sprinkles suggests to Glenn Warren that you should split up and go from both sides.
Glenn Warren will motion for Sprinkles to go and wait near the pillar while I investigate the backside. Before we stumble into something that's a little more than we can handle.
I'm
Let's-
really persuasive.
Let's see if we can attack it from both sides if we need to.
I'm just gonna stay there because if I roll with a stealth action, it's a disadvantage. So I'm just gonna stay right where I'm at.
Glenn Warren will sneak around the pillar, around the back of it.
Because I don't want to spook anything.
So, Glenn Warren, you begin to sneak around the pillar. You get a decent look at the creature. Roll me a stealth check.
Ooh, very nice.
You walk around the pillar without really making a sound, and you look over, and you see what looks like a frog human sitting at a campfire, toasting, like roasting something over the campfire on a skewer. You recognize it. It's a bullywog.
About how tall is it?
3 feet.
Not 10.
Not 10. So this is not the creature we are looking for. Does it appear to be armed?
Does not have a weapon on it. You look over. You see a small tent made from some leather and animal bones. There's a crate actually by you with some vegetables in it. You do see a spear against the wall away from from the bullywog. It's about over here.
Okay, I will head back to the team and relay what I had seen, that it's a bullywog that about 3 feet tall. So this is not the monster that they had, that I forget his name, the forgettable character had mentioned to us. So maybe our best approach is not wholesale massacre. I wonder if
So
this is an
send in the
intelligent thing that
fairy
we could
being
speak.
cute.
Can anybody
Why-
speak? It would have been frog. I don't know of any way to speak to it or communicate with it.
I know
Being familiar with just bullywogs as most of you are, some no common.
Okay.
I
All
Most
also
right.
moderately
know
intelligent creatures.
I got deep speech and undercommon as well.
I
Well,
got
since
deep speech and infernal.
we'll send Sprinkles in with choking dust at the ready.
Smart.
We'll be waiting right here for you. Don't want him to be too intimidated.
Sprinkles is just gonna flitter over and to pretend to be all full of rainbows and sunshine and stuff. Look as stupid as I am.
Are you like walking over as a fairy? Or are you flying over?
I'm gonna fly over. I'm gonna be flittery.
All right. You fly over around the pillar up to the bullywog. You see it just looking down at its skewer. You fly and get close to it. You see it quickly look up and just it screams.
Good idea not to kill it. That's definitely what attacked us last night.
It drops its skewer into the fire, and runs over to the rack and pulls a stick off of it and looks over at Sprinkles. What are you?
I'm a Sprinkles.
Why are you here?
I just saw the cave and thought it looked homey.
You're doing a great job, Rob. It's a really good
I
bullywug
love the
sound.
frog voice. It's
I
like
love
my
it. I
favorite
love
one that you've
it.
ever done. It's
Alright.
amazing. Non-threatening frog people, go. I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Keep doing it. I love it so much.
What are you doing in Jumbog's cave?
I don't know a gym bug. What's a gym bug?
Hi, Jumbog.
Oh, you're a gym bug. Is this your home? Sorry.
It's huddled back with its stick pointed out away from it toward you. Why are you here?
Like I said, it looked homey in the cave and I wanted to explore.
Truly?
Yeah. And then Sprinkles stops flying and lands gently.
Puts the stick down. Okay.
Do you live here with anyone else?
Ah, this part, no.
This part now. Is there more?
Jimbok looks over down this path. There's lots of creatures down there.
Anything scary?
A few.
Can you tell me about them so I know if I should run?
Ah, there's some bat-like creatures.
Bats? Okay.
Uh, spikes that fall from the ceiling.
Traps? Okay.
That's as far as I've gone.
Do you have problems with them? I can try and clear them out for you.
Oh no. This is Jim Bog's part.
Okay.
They stay there. Jim Bog stays here.
Can me and my friends go there?
Go ahead, just don't touch Jim Bog's stuff.
Won't touch Jim Bug stuff. Promise.
Promise?
Promise. Fairy promise.
Okay.
Sprinkles goes back to get you guys.
Definitely a dragon.
Yes.
So
Jim
there's
Bog's
traps.
our new best friend.
Yes. All right.
I'm giving
Sprinkles is
Jim
just
Bog
gonna,
food.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. Give him some rations.
Oh, there's more.
Yes, I said I was gonna get my friends.
Why is he so creepy?
So nothing hurts me. He's my protector.
Okay.
Would you care for some food, Jim Bog? We appreciate you allowing us into your home and allowing us to pass through. I would like to offer you some of this food, and I will give him a ration.
You walk up to Jimbog with some of the bread from the basket in your hand, and as you approach, his tongue just leaches out and grabs it out of your hand.
Jim Bog thanks you.
I appreciate someone who doesn't beat around the bush. Get straight to the point. We shall continue to tally forth.
Are the nicest people I've met.
Do you remember about how far in the spikes that fall from the ceiling are, Jim Bog?
It's a
Would
bit.
you would you mind accompanying us a little ways, just so that we're trying to investigate something that's been attacking our friends nearby? It attacked us last night. So we're just trying to investigate the cave. We're not necessarily here to hurt anything or anyone. We just heard news that what we're seeking might be near here. Would you mind joining us a little ways, just as much as safe as you would dare?
Oh, God, no.
I'll give you
But
another ration.
it's not for Jim Bog's head. They nearly killed me last time.
Who did?
But the spikes. But as you go, there will be a pit, a break in the floor. The spikes are on the other side.
Any other guidance that you could give us on making it through?
Uh, there's a. It didn't attack Jim Bog, but there's some sort of bat before the spikes. Like, if you took you
He points at Glen Warren.
and you,
He points at Olaf.
it's about both of you put together.
So I'll put my arm up to about 10 feet and say, maybe about this tall?
Hmm, not that tall, but it's wings.
What color is the bat?
Blackish brown?
Does the bat ever leave?
No, it stays in its part of the cave. Like I said, Jim Bog's side. I have the exit.
Did you do anything special? Oh, wait, you said that so anything that leaves the cave has to come through you to exit, does it?
Yes. Nothing
Have
ever
you seen
leaves.
nothing ever leaves? So nothing from this cave ever leaves.
How long have you been here?
Hmm, About 5 years now. 4. But time is weird.
Was there anyone here before you that might have been much taller than yourself
Hmm?
And also green.
that you had encountered? Was about this tall, green, covered in scales, and had yellow eyes.
I'm not 10 feet tall, but that sounds like me. And
Did you
not scaly, but
did you happen to encounter a human that saw you and ran away?
oh, a couple of years back, this one guy came into the cave, took one look at Jimbog, screamed like the loudest scream I've ever heard, and ran away. A moment later, another one came by and did the same thing.
Hmm.
I was just standing there.
Do you ever leave the cave at all?
Sometimes.
Have you encountered anything that may have attacked the nearby town?
You can see Jimbug's like eyes going to like the top, like, up to his head.
No.
Never heard, or wait, we don't remember that anymore. Never.
Um, have you seen people being taken through the woods in the middle of the night by any chance?
People? No. Jimbug doesn't go near town, and the people don't come here.
Have you been noticing that there are gaps in your memory lately? Have you forgotten any? Like maybe a night has disappeared and you've woken up and didn't know what happened the night before?
Oh. Maybe? If Jimbug were to remember, I guess I forgot.
I offer him the rest of my cask.
You give Jimbug alcohol?
Yes. Drink up.
He walks over, just hands out. He's like maybe 3 feet tall.
Give her here.
Give it to him.
Do his best impression. Yeah, Jimbog definitely parties. This is a one frog party.
Jimbug takes even though it's less than half full still, he's dragging it across the ground. You see it leaving a trail in the ground as he's dragging it over to his tent.
All right, well, guys. So nothing ever leaves. Our 10-foot tall green scaly monster is the alcoholic over there that Olaf just got hammered. We gave food to and was incredibly polite. If we go further into the cave, it's not going to lead us to our investigation, and we could get harmed
By bats.
by bats, spike pits, and all kinds of things.
Well, Sprinkles does have glitter.
But from what people have told us, it doesn't make sense. It's not a bat attacking them. And no one said they've gone deep into the pit to get anything.
Well, and I'm guessing the Jimbog would have remembered if the bat had left, especially the thing that had, he was worried that might have killed him before. That was bigger than two of us combined.
And now he's enjoying the booze, so he might remember now.
Kind of at a loss again.
You sit and ponder over everything as a group, and you see Jimbog just knelt down with the spout of the barrel just kind of drooped into his mouth as he's opening it up.
It sounds like something is taking your memory.
Have you heard of anything like that that would do anything like that, Jimbog?
Mm, no, but I do know some nights there's a song that echoes through the cave. It's beautiful. Maybe that has something to do with it?
And you've never been far enough back into the cave to see what's singing the song, have you?
No, it's way in there. Past everything.
I guess we're going to hunt some bats then. So says Jimbog. All
Maybe
right.
if we clear out the cave, Jimbug can have whole cave.
How would you
like
like that,
whole
Jimbog?
cave.
Ah.
Big enough for a whole Jimbug family.
Or at least big enough for a 2-frog party, just in case.
2-frog party, go hard.
Because a 2-frog party don't stop.
Oh.
Well, I guess we might as well dive deeper into the cave.
All right. Well, I think that's a good stopping point for this part, as you are about to venture into the cave, into who knows what.
Jimbog knows what.
Batman.
Knows somewhat what. But
Bat, not Batman. Because it's not a man that was a bat.
Big bat.
Or a man that was a bat. Or a bat that was a man.
Bat size
It's
of
a bat that
two-man.
was a bat. So it's a bat.
falling spikes. But
It's a bat the size of a man bat.
And a song.
But does the bat sing the song?
I don't know. That's for you guys
The
to find
bat
out.
sings the human song. I don't know.
Well, yeah. We'll have to find out next time. Here in the next couple weeks, we will do the fourth and final part of Unknown Faces. So definitely stay tuned and look out for that alert. Definitely hit the like button before you head out and subscribe if you want to see the rest of this story. But thank everyone for tuning in.